Texas, 3-year-old went there. Tempo, supposed to be hiding in the mountains.
Have arrested a 30-year-old man who was found with a weapon in his possession. No other details are known at the moment, but a man has been arrested carrying a gun, and naturally the entire machinery of law and order in Dallas, both on the city, state, and federal level, have gone into action to try to apprehend the assassin and those who helped him. The bulletin is that a 30-year-old man has been arrested.
One might say at this point that it is very much to be hoped that this assassin, whoever he is not connected with any particular political group, a so-called hate group or otherwise. This will result in a very great rending of the political flesh of this country.
As a member of the Super Sorry to interrupt, Jim. We'll get back to this. We have a phone call from Bob Clark in Dallas. Back to Ron Cochran.
Stand by, please. Bob, stand by, please. We were having a little technical difficulty. All right, Bob, yes, we are on the air now, Bob. Would you give us a recap of all that you know, please?
Well, first, the president's body has just been taken to Parkland Memorial Hospital. The body in a sealed brown casket was wheeled out of the emergency ward. Mrs. Kennedy walked quietly by the side of the casket as it was placed in an ambulance waiting outside the hospital.
The eyes of the nation and the hearts of the nation are with Mrs. Kennedy today, and the eyes of Dallas, Texas are held in shame.
Hello, I've got some dictation for you on the Kennedy story.
Yeah, where are you, Tom?
I'm in Dallas.
Yeah, okay, boy. Now take it easy.
Okay, this is Dallas, November 22nd. President John F. Kennedy was shot and killed here today, period. The president suffered a massive gunshot wound in the brain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a press report over the wires that the President of the United States has been the victim of an assassination. We will play the funeral march from Beethoven's Third Symphony.
A gentleman just walked in our studio that I am meeting for the first time as well as you. This is WFA-TV in Dallas, Texas. May I have your name, please, sir?
My name is Abraham Zapruder.
Mr. Zapruder?
Zapruder, yes, sir.
Zapruder. And would you tell us your story, please, sir?
I got out and about a half hour earlier and was a good spot to shoot some pictures. And I found a spot, one of these concrete blocks that I have down near that park near the underpass. And I got on top there was another girl from my office. She was right behind me. And as I was shooting, as the president was coming down from Houston Street making his turn, it was about halfway down there, I had a shot. Then he slumped to the side like this. Then I had another shot or two. I couldn't say it was one or two. And I saw his head practically open up, all blood and everything. And I kept on shooting. That's about all. I'm just sick, kid.
I think that pretty well expresses the entire feelings of the whole world.
As the news of President Kennedy's death spread through the city, to those who hadn't heard it or had heard only the first fragmentary reports, even this street, which is normally so loud you can't hear yourself talking to another person, acquired a stillness that it's never known. Can you tell me what your first reaction was, ma'am?
We were all crying in my place, all crying.
You looked as though you'd been crying. Is that how it struck you first?
Yes.
How did you hear about it?
Well, the radio in my place, and they told us.
And did all of the people in the office cry?
Yes.
And how about you, sir? Have you had what are your first reactions to a tragedy of this sort?
My first reaction, sir, is that I hope these Southerners, these radicals, have satisfied they got their pound of flesh and killing a man as good as that.
Are you certain that it is right-wing radicals or people who oppose the president so desperately that they would do something like this, who committed this act?
Yes, sir. Could be no one else. Someone who did this must be mentally deranged. No clear-thinking human person would ever think of doing something like that.
How about you, sir? What was your first reaction?
Well, my first reaction was I was terribly shocked. I couldn't believe that it really happened. But I disagree with this man about it being a right-wing radical. It could have been communist, I think, probably something like that.
You see this sign right here? You know what that is? Everybody know? What? Well, it kind of, this is a fallout shelter in case we would be attacked by a nuclear weapon. They have those signs where people are to go. We kind of talked about that. And that's a perfect example. If there was an emergency with a nuclear weapon, that signifies a place where people would go in the basement and hopefully be safe.
I think this has to be a planned conspiracy. This is the first time in our history when a rifle has been used and fired at a president of the United States. From the photographs of the building, that carry must have been a couple of hundred yards. And whoever fired it must have been a man that could handle a rifle. So this must have been a very carefully planned conspiracy.
That's what got conspiracy theorists wound up. He's only
there are
way off on the
reactions in Dallas now. The main thing that we're concerned with is the condition of Governor Connolly. We will have that word for you just as soon as possible. As we understand it, there is no word coming out of the hospital. There is no way that we can get any information for you.
Be about 15 minutes, Jay. Our cruiser is at the hospital entrance, and Connolly's doctor will come out in about 15 minutes to make a statement, give a report and a condition on the governor.
Very good. That's the latest word. That in 10 or 15 minutes we will have word for you. Right now, here is a picture of the man who allegedly shot the policeman.
More bulletins. Police today seized one man, Lee H. Oswald. He is identified as chairman of a Fair Play for Cuba committee and is regarded, at least as far as we know, as the prime suspect in the assassination of President Kennedy.
Give him a mic, Jake.
Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is the tape rolling?
I want to say at the outset that the condition of the governor is quite satisfactory in view of the injury that he has sustained. We have no reason to believe that he won't completely recover without significant disability of any sort.
Now reporters who are standing here have asked for questions. Has it been definitely determined one bullet?
Really a reconstruction of what must have happened, but assuming, of course, that we know that the governor was in a sitting position. He was shot from above, and he was in a sitting position. So we feel that this is all one bullet.
This information, Police Captain Pat Ganaway today said a suspect held in the...
Grass? What was all the stuff on the grass?
Well, I didn't see it. What was it? I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't pay attention to it. What did it look like? What did it look like?
I think it was like, it looked like somebody like placed stuff all over the...
Oh, where the area where he was shot?
Yeah.
Probably like the flowers, what they do. Now listen, I want to kind of explain some things to you, and I'll give you more detail later. What Oswald did